let's get into it. I don't think I've actually casted anything since Clash last week, so hopefully this is a nice little get back into it cast. Probably a little bit on the casual end, but the matchups here will go with Aatrox top against Jax. In the jungle, it will be a Trundle against Brand jungle. Exciting. Cassiopeia mid against the Wildcards. Ashe Rakan against Sivir Leona. Ashe Rakan is a pretty interesting lane. I haven't really seen that much Rakan being played recently. Just in solo queue, in competitive, he's definitely, like Xayah Rakan still, definitely a thing in competitive. I certainly haven't seen many Rakans. Oh, but he has to watch out here. The Zenith Blade catches him out. He's gonna take captive audience and get out of there. No summoners blow on either side. Both supports revealing their level 1 choice. But no casualties. The Ashe's name is apparently Stop Banning Me Ooh. And she does have the Hail of Blaze set up with approach velocity and magical shoes. Cool. Pretty standard rune setups all around. Aftershock on Brand. So he didn't change his runes. Basically. Can't imagine this is intentional. I also can't imagine magical footwear being intentional in the jungle, a role where movement speed does come at a significant premium. You definitely want a lot of it early on, and delaying your boost choice to, let's say even if you get popping, you get like 4 kills, delaying your shoes until 9 minutes still seems a little bit asinine to me. Every time I take magical footwear as a jungler, I kinda regret it immediately, because every time, after I first back, I always like instinctively hover over boots. But I just can't buy. If I just can't buy it, it just feels bad. But regardless, we're just gonna leave him to his own devices. I mean, he can proc Aftershock, so it's not a total. It's not a total wash, but it's definitely not the intentional rune choice. I was gonna talk about it'd be interesting following jungle Brand, but what ended up happening was he clearly doesn't have the right rune, so I don't have to talk about him much. We're gonna have a level 2 trade here from bottom lane. Ashe is gonna return fire, and here comes the ignite. Oh, it was favorable until Rakan walks up a little bit too much. Gets dropped here for a first blood. Excellent 2v2 solo kill, but here comes more. Zenith Blade and the flash from Sivir. Like a well-oiled machine. Well-oiled, I can't pronounce words. Well-oiled machine. 2v2 victory for the Sivir. Instant double kill super early. And this is doubly bad, because that is a cannon wave on top of another half of the first wave being completely denied. Rakan's not gonna make it back in time to even save the cannon. So now red team can go back and line their pockets with riches, and Ashe gets to cry. Except the Sivir, actually she wants to clear out a little bit more. The spell shield not gonna block anything. Rakan tries to go for it, but he cannot. Brand will go ahead and clear all of his buffs, but Trundle has beat him into the river. So he's gonna go ahead and take away the Scuttle Crab. Well, the Brand will move on to his Krug camp. Side note, whenever people mention the word Krug, for some reason, never mind, gank here. Brand's gonna try to turn it around. He does have the Aftershock. Oh, the damage proc doesn't go off, but he does find the kill regardless. The Aatrox is coming in, the dunk will miss. No knockups here, and he's gonna get turned on. Seer will get the stun, Pillar of Flames, and the explosion. Jax will take a 2v2 victory for red team, off to a flying start so far. But whenever people mention Krugs, like the rock camp, it's an interesting choice. Because you know what my association with the word Krug is? It's actually from a 1970s horror film called The Last House on the Left, where Krug was the name of the antagonist. It's also a really raunchy and violent film. I didn't even watch the film. Like, it was 1970. Like 25 years before I was born, but I know of the film, and for some reason I don't even remember many details about it. I just know that like there's people getting killed, I think there may have been sexually explicit scenes. And the show ends with someone getting shot in the back of the head. I think Krug gets shot in the back of the head when that film ends, but the only vivid memory I have of that film is the antagonist's name is Krug. Because I guess to me that was just like, oh, that's a strange name for a guy to have. But that's what I associate the Rock Camp with, like this 1970s slasher horror villain character. But here comes a jungler gank. It might get turned around. The Ashe is just so weak. She can't really fight this. Zenith's lands under Trundle. He might just die again. He does die again. Sivir picks up her 4th kill, and my god, these people are just feeding kills into her. It's like playing Hungry Hippos, except the bees are the champions. And then top lane, Jax is gonna slap out the Aatrox some more. He has to try to run away from this. Deep Strike and Power will follow him through. Jax needs a few more autos to get it. He's not level 6, but he might have what it takes to run him down before he gets to the tower. But meanwhile, Leona goes for a pretty ill-advised dive, and she will get shut down. No, not really a shutdown, but I think there's an increased bounty here in some hidden way. Sivir will try to get a kill back. One more boomerang play under the tower might just straight up kill the Ashe, but here comes the Rakan engage that gets spell shielded. The Trundle is here. This is a 1v3. Sivir's boomerang play will not find the Ashe, and that is certainly a very, very dead Sivir. Trundle gets one last bite, 700 gold for himself. That might be enough to actually bail him out of the hole he dug himself in. Top lane, the trade will continue. Aatrox decidedly lost that trade and has to teleport back, so now it's up to him to farm out the lane. And it's now Ashe's turn to push up a wave. The Leona is here to block it, if necessary. Ashe is actually not recalling. She should recall, otherwise the lane timings will not favor her. Red team's gonna go for the Drake, but Brand might go for it, but he's being stopped by the Valkos. He just kind of walks forward and gets lasered. Not paying attention whatsoever, and that will result in his death. Trundle finally getting a kill, just immediately donates it back. This is gonna be a red team's Drake, and Sivir gets to mop up the wave. Overall, extremely positive here for the red team. If we forget about the fact that Brand just died randomly, it's really good for them. And because of the teleport deficit top lane, Aatrox is not there to assist. He might get 1 or 2 plates up here as consolation. However, red team is the one that walks away with the victory. So far, red team is really ahead in this game. When your AD carries that ahead and your top laner is really ahead, the game becomes really hard to play because your side lanes just lose so much pressure. And the jungler gets the easiest job in the world where you just have to pressure mid. 30 seconds from now, Herald will spawn. And it's very quickly, the game might get blown open if it's not careful. Sivir's gonna tank a few tower shots and get the kill on the Ashe under the tower. There's just no help arriving for bottom lane. Ashe is gonna offer Triforce, but she goes for the Phage component first, just because she needs that life, she needs that movement speed. She needs a ton more CDR to get those enchanted crystal arrows off. But this game is not really favoring her. She doesn't even have level 6 yet. Oh no. The game is just slowly sliding away from blue team. Trundle's gonna take a few buffs for him. The game's gonna settle down into a more quiet state. I'm tempted to tell a story here, but I know as soon as I start telling anything, there's gonna be some action. Like here, Leona's back. Maybe something will happen here, but she's still level 5. And here comes a Jax. He's going for an aggressive trade. The counter strike gets popped. World Ender gets answered in return. Jax is gonna pop Grandmaster's Might. But here comes the Trundle to assist. He has to flash away from the pillar. No subjugation possible. But here comes the Cassiopeia for the counter gank. The Venom does land. That's gonna give her some movement speed. Twin Fangs is gonna land some damage. Miasma grounds both. And now here comes the rest of the fight. Petrifying Gaze will miss. Walkout blows the disintegration ray on Brand, but not gonna find the kill. Sivir's going to pop on the hunt and come in. Solar Flare finds the Ashe. Rakan's gonna pop the quickness and try to charm some people up, but it's not enough to save the Ashe. Meanwhile, top lane Trundle gets routed, but the Jax might not survive. Oh, he does survive. The Leaf Strike onto his ally to get himself out. Counter Strike avoiding the last bit of damage, and he walks away with a free kill in hand. So the 2v2 for bot lane and the 3v3 up top both end in victories once again for the red team. It's a textbook dominance here. Very few mistakes all around. Except for that one time Brand walked into the laser. But we'll just forget that happened. So what is blue team's call when every single lane seems to go so wrong, except mid? Jungler needs to try to put some more pressure mid. He has to anticipate that's probably the next pressure point that red team will look to attack. As weak as his champion currently is, he needs to try to put himself in positions where he can be useful. Teamfight might break, well, skirmish, not breakout, not a team fight. I'm gonna sit in the try and try to catch how to rotate. Word forward, not gonna find anything. Here comes Rakan. He might be a sacrificial lamb, but he's mobile enough to get out. Captive audience gets himself out. Just nice. Ricochet is gonna hit on the minions, and the minion wave goes away. Ashe is just trying to scrounge up as much income as possible. She's working on her She next. But my god, that is definitely not your problem here. Aatrox is going to go for another trade that he cannot possibly win. Trundle's going to gank bot, trying to break this lane open. Ashe is going to flash in for some damage. She's over half. She's just less than half of Silver CS. But they find the 3v2. And they find two very valuable kills. One of them goes over to the Ashe. The shutdown critically is not that one. Rakan's going to line his pockets with some riches. Trundle is just a richer version of Ashe at this point. Look at that CS differential and the identical scoreline. Here comes the Brand to settle the score. Pyroclasm will land. The Seer will not, but the Conflagrate will. The Pillar finds it. The explosion definitely kills the Ashe here. And now Brand feeding both. It's going to land the Seer on the Rakan. Rakan is going to flash away, but it's not enough. The fire will claim his life. I stuttered for a few times there because I wasn't sure what his E was called. They just randomly called out Conflagrate. And I thought that might have been Annie's. Let's check. I thought it was Conflagrate. Yeah, it is, well, Conflagration, but Annie has like Incinerate on W and something else, like Pyro something on her Q. The Cassiopeia gonna flash in, Petrifying Game's not gonna land, and the Disintegration Ray finds the counter kill. Wildcard is actually the first player in this game to hit 100 CS. He has to carry the whole team on his back if he wants to win this one. Trundle's being zoned off the Drake. He should just give up hopes of getting it. Brand's gonna secure it. Raw runes be damned. He wants to be useful this game. I've just received word from Discord that apparently this Ashe was stolen from the Silver player. Well, if it was stolen, then what a hell of a revenge match we got here. Just destroying the Ashe in lane almost twice as much as her CS. And so much higher than her in income. The engage from Leona is going to come in. Xana's will land. Rakan will turn with the quickness. Captive audience in the middle of nowhere. Not going to find anything. He's dropping solo. He's going to try to dash out. But here comes the teleport from the Jax. He's hungry. He has home guards. He wants more. He's going back in. He's not going to get it. And now Sivir continues to push. This tower might not be long for the world. 40 seconds from now, plates will fall. But if they can rip off the last 1,000 health, they might get a little bit extra gold for their efforts. Sivir's gonna spell shield, but blocks nothing. The Trundle bite takes away some of her AD, and the damage is landing on her hard and fast, but it's not enough. Sivir finds the kill on the Trundle, and the Leona flash forward, stunning the Ashe with her shield. The Ashe will try to return some damage. The Wally will find some, but she's too afraid to walk up. She might have killed both, but she was too afraid of getting turned on. Conflagration lands, the Seer will miss, but the Pillar of Flame will hit. That's not 3 hits, so there's no explosion on the Aatrox. Ashe, she's farming. I feel like she might have tried to secure a kill. She knows that red team blew all of their ultimates down there. And they have no summoners. If she was more diligent, she would have caught that red team likely has nothing to fight her with. With a full health Rakan in front of her. But regardless, she'll go for a safer play here. Jax is going to get pulled back to the chains. Aatrox might find an opportunity. No, he does not find it. Jax has already finished Blade of the Ruined King and just less than halfway complete with his Triforce. He's looking to be a very scary threat here in this lane. The Valkyries are going to come here to try and change fate. He has a flash away from the Disintegration Ray. The Blade of the Ruined King steals some movement speed. The World Ender too slow to catch up. It seems like he will make it out just fine, but the Aatrox wants more. Double flash coming out from blue team, but they do not find the kill because Leap Strike gets the Jax out safe and sound. Cassiopeia finally gets some free time, and Trundle really wants his KFC. Turret plays have fallen, but it doesn't stop the first turret from going down right now. Silver will be the one to claim it. 7-2-0 this game. Ashe, I feel like she hasn't really improved her arsenal. She finished her boots upgrade. Good for her. Never even finished Sheen yet. Here comes the On the Hunt speed buff. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow will stop that dive from happening. Now she needs to try to book it out there. There's 3-man bottom lane. Nobody in this game has killed a Herald. This seems like one game where you can just get early Herald and blow open the game, but neither team will opt to do it. Jax is gonna swing his lamppost down. He might claim that solo kill here. No, he does not. He doesn't go for the tower. Aatrox makes it out with like 50 health. He's thinking, he's praying to whatever god he believes in for that rescue. Wildcard is not visible on the map, and really he's the only major threat here remaining on blue team. Everybody else is kind of pushovers at this stage in the game. But here comes the engage. Trundle gets locked up. There's so much CC coming down him. He will die before barely getting able to move. The quickness buys some time. Ashe will flash away from Solar Flare. That leaves the Recon slowed in place. The volley not enough to save him maybe. The Seer will miss. He's got fancy feet, but it's not fancy enough to get away from the boomerang. Silver will take that kill. That's going to be the 8th kill on Silver this game. A very smooth sailing game for the most part. Wildcard, he might find the solo kill here. One more tick of Disintegration Ray would have done it. The Cassiopeia walks out with her life. Look at that health bar. I will show her actual health bar. One more tick of the Ray definitely kills her. She got out just by the skin of her teeth. The red team is sitting on exactly 8,000 gold lead, slowly ballooning up and up more since they have more map to play with. Enchanted Crystal Arrow gonna find the brand, but there's no allies near him, so he'll just walk away. He doesn't care. The Stinger is finished on Ashe. She's stacking that CDR now. But it's nowhere near enough for her to make that build work. The Jax is gonna get pulled back by the chains. Aatrox will try to make a run for it. Jax cannot give chase, but red team can kill a dragon and call it a day. Dragon gets angry that his sleep has been disturbed, and he's risen up to punish the evildoers. But on the side, there's a Trundle. He's 2 levels below the brand, but they just kind of walk in and start it. That seems ill-advised. The brand ultimate is going to come out. It's bouncing between blue team. Rakan's going to come in for the captive audience. They're going to try to assassinate the jungler. They do get him, but their own jungler is in a lot of trouble as well. Trundle has to flash out of the pit, but now the teamfight breaks open. Sivir has arrived, packing so much damage, erasing 2 players off the map instantly. The Wildcard trying to look for some poke. He does have the damage, but can he do it here? The Aatrox comes in to finish off the Leona, and now it's just a Sivir. She's lost her front line. She only has the Cassiopeia. Red team secures the Drake, and Cassio kills the Aatrox somehow, and the Jax is coming in from the side. He's arrived just in time to see the dead bodies being cleaned away. Doesn't get to participate in creating any of it. He's gonna run into an Aatrox here maybe. Aatrox has... Oh, that's Trundle, never mind. He's gonna run into a Trundle. He looks like Aatrox, okay? Trundle's gonna walk away here. No major repercussions. Oh, never mind. He wants more. He's come back in! Oh, why did he come back in? That might be a dead Trundle. The Blade of the Rune King won't land. He's gonna try to bounce himself away. He does. Rescued. Rakan, oh no. How many times he got to learn his lesson? He walks past a ward. He's swept. He's not even gonna go clear it. He can't go back. There's a very angry Lampman in his way. Wildcard's gonna try to find some damage. He is quite fed. Is he fed enough to take on the Jax? He is kind of. He can't kill him off. Sivir, in the entire time that this is happening, kills tier 2 bottom lane. Now she's trying to make her way out. Meanwhile, back to the action up here. Leona is in the lane with a Cassio. Wildcats is gonna go for a reset. Despite how badly his team's feeding, in fact, red team has 20 kills and is completely evenly distributed among 4 members. He's deathless. And he's got almost the highest farm in this game. He's still in a position to carry this game. Even though this is a 10k deficit they're looking at. He has the damage to erase their carries in one go. The Trundle might be the first person to reach 6 death though. He is going to be one to reach 6 death. He has certainly been probably the weakest link on his team so far this game though. Those early jungle skirmishes, losing to a brand with wrong ruins, just not acceptable. Now Valkaz, he's the last pain point. Red team has to try to shut him down. They're gonna try the 2-man Baron with just the brand and the Jax. Jax only has Blade of the Rune King for sustain, and he seems to be the one tanking, so I don't think they can actually get this. What the heck is that? They're actually doing... Okay, never mind. They do so much damage to Baron. This is just going to be a 2-man. Blue team realizing something's up. They're going to ping assist on the river. But little do they know, this Baron's already dead. Valkaz is the first to book it out of the scene. He won't be caught out, but that's red team wearing Baron now. I genuinely thought they wouldn't do that Baron was 2-man. Especially the tank is probably the DPS, but oh man, I lied. Brand does so much damage to Baron. Little do I know. The Liandry's burn doing work. Blue team will try to surrender, but that wall doesn't come through. I don't like as weird as it sounds, I don't think this game's lost. Like sure, Ashe is so underfed, she got a 21.5-minute first item. But it's a utility carry anyway. Just find the arrows for your Wildcats. He can carry. He has what it takes to nuke down a Sivir, even through the Phantom Dancer shield. If they get desperate enough, and red team forces a little bit too overzealously, this might be a turnaround for them. Rakan's gonna get caught out. He has to pop the quickness to run away. He'll be fine, but that's him completely neutralized for the next minute and a half or so. Coincidentally, the next minute and a half is also when red team's gonna start their push. So that is not a good ultimate to give up, but at least it keeps him alive. Cassiopeia is going to start a split push up top lane, and Jax is going to push up the bottom lane. A 3-way siege. Which side do they pinch first? Blue team's moving towards top side. There's 2 people. We'll see how this fight top's going. Cassiopeia is going to get warded off. She's in the brush. And then the bottom lane, the minions are going to be cleared away. Mid lane, they're just going to forfeit this tower. The Trundle's on the side. He might not go for it. Cassiopeia finds the Ashe. She's going to drive him out a little bit. One more Twin Fan might seal it, but she's overextended a little bit too far. But she's also against a Trundle, who isn't really doing that much. He's just going to die. Yikes. And Ashe is going to get caught out in the river. Meanwhile, mid lane, this is where the siege is beginning. And now red team is going to take over the siege up top. Jackson get caught out. The disintegration ray going to roast him alive. He will drop. He's also the only kill. He died to a Rakan. Brand is pushing bottom lane, and there's 3-man ramming top. What is their call? They're being split all over. Valkaz will be sent up in the 1v3, but they might force a dive onto him. The rest of his team is protecting. They're just going to give up the bot inhibitor. Brand's going to keep up the push. The pressure bottom lane is still mounting. Red team will be driven out on the top side, and Brand will retreat. They take so many towers. They take an inhib, and they leave 2 open. This one's open, right? No, never mind. They leave 1 open. Here comes the forced engage from Rakan, and the Whirlwind gets popped in. Rakan gets killed before he can even make it back. Wildcard is not in a position to contribute damage. The Trundle runs back in there, inting like it was built to do. He does get killed off again by the Cassiopeia. Here comes the Jax teleport. It's going onto the back line. Wildcard cannot do anything in this position. He's just going to save his KDA. That's what I would do in this situation. Your team sucks. And there's the surrender. Wildcard is deathless. What a hero. What a hero. He's the only deathless player in this whole game. You wouldn't have expected that.